We also work with early childhood referrals, so that would be 3 through 5 referrals for preschool in the community, supporting them and collaborating, and then with the teachers as well. Early access, which is birth through 3. You guys have had 26 referrals to date here this year. And then students that have received those social worker sessions have been about 57. So that's really kind of an overview of what those targeted and specialized services look like. And you can see that there's a lot there. So if you guys are taking notes and need more information on any of those programs, we're happy to share those with you. And back to Jessica.
So the next slide's over universal services and support. So these are what we offer to every district that we serve. So assessment and data, helping you look at that. Literacy team, we have a math team. We have a professional learning team that offers all of our our trainings. We have a school improvement team that helps with school improvement plans and monitoring and implementing. And we also have a science department. So all of these areas are available to any school that we serve. Right now, you do have a team participating in the science planning script, which that has a definition on there on your page, a little bit about that. You currently have 189, or we have 189 professional learning offerings that the Green Hills actually offers out to anybody who wants to take those offerings. You are currently enrolled in the STOP grant assessment and partner for school safety, and you have 43 teachers participating in our Math Alliance. Right now, last year, you had almost 1,200 statewide trainings completed by your employees, which is about $29,329 in savings that professional development was provided by the AEA. Information technology and digital learning and media services is another area that we are highly qualified in and offer numerous different resources. We have van deliveries twice a week to bring services to and from your schools. That could be like anything, like if you borrow books or anything like that, we bring them and pick them up. We have, you can see, quite a few programs that we pay for professional subscriptions, and then your district can utilize those and all of your teachers for free. An example would be that Pear Deck. When I was principal at my last position, I bought that and it was $2,600 for just my teachers at my high school to use that. And we offer that to all of our districts. So these are really good interactive programs that all of our people can use in their buildings. We have 101 teachers registered for Mystery Science, which is another program that we offer for free for all of our schools. You currently participate in the E-rate support program, which is basically a way to get discounted internet service and things like that based on a really, I guess, confusing and difficult equation, but you currently participate in that. And then as you can see listed, those are the services that LC has used so far: 41 assistive technology, over 1,800 book kits, models, novel sets, books, professional resources, student books that have been checked out, 2,300. So these are the things that our media services can provide. And also we do troubleshooting and things like that with like your internet systems and things, just to support all the way around.
And we put together a video that if there's not time to watch now, you don't have to, but it's one thing to hear us talk about services, it's another to see some of the individuals who are serving in your district do that. So I guess I would see what time is.
How long is?
I think it's just a couple of minutes.
I think it's 2 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
we're good.
Okay. Just didn't want to go over. So now it's 3 minutes?
Yeah.
It's quick. Oh, it's 5 minutes. I apologize.
That's fine.
Shoot, I thought it
We
was 2.
can cut it to 2.
I'll keep my talk short.
Okay.
We have partnered with Lewis Central since the fall of 2020 in the SDIC Facilities Project. So this is a project that originally was part of the state great work starting in 2016. And since then, we have tried to expand the project to different school districts. The goals have really been looking at implementing key SDI practices within diagnose, design, and deliver. And SDI stands for Special Design Instruction. So when we have students on alternate assessment, they oftentimes need a different sort of literacy instruction. And so really what this project delves into is looking at what that literacy instruction should look at. We also really want to expand the knowledge and skills of teachers to implement those early literacy assessment and looking at how to align instruction with the Iowa Core, but with the Iowa Core essential elements as well. Part of it was making sure that teachers had lots of books and the students had access to those books. So we didn't just look at books they had in the classroom. We looked at our online resources that we have through the AEA. So they have digital and more accessible materials for those students. Looked at classroom setting also. I know one of our teachers was able to get a bigger room because she talked about all the needs she had in her classroom and turning out the wheelchairs and everything. Yeah, that helped move that process along, get what she needed. As a speech pathologist, since I work directly with the teachers, the parents, and students, we definitely worked in that ILAP process that we were able to talk about having more vocabulary.
2 minutes.
Okay.
I was right.
Is that the end?
No, that wasn't. I think it
I
just
think it just glitched.
glitched out.
Yeah.
But
Part 2 coming later.
maybe they could send it to us.
Yes, we can absolutely make sure that's.
Maybe we could
It's-
send it because
I
then
apologize.
that way, Amy.
And it's just a
Yes.
highlight of some of the things that we've been doing with Lewis Central specifically this year.
Yeah. And then the final slide there is really just if you guys are interested in the other providers in the district, you can look up them with that QR code and just kind of learn who's going to be in and out of the district serving, and as changes are made, if they are, those things are always updated. So.
Any questions?
Any questions?
The one question I guess I do have is the, on the regional planning partnership CTE mini grants. Is that what's used for like the plastics programs or anything like those lines, or?
So those are for specifically for career and technical ed programs.
Okay.
It'd be like any of our industrial tech, business courses,
Okay.
family consumer science. It's usually those who qualify for like Perkins funding.
Okay.
Thanks for taking that one.
Do you compare
other districts to see how involved our teachers are compared to other districts, or is it average? I don't even know if you do that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that this has really provided us is the opportunity to give each district like a snapshot. So we haven't really compared like percentage-wise how many teachers, but we could like pull that information and just to inform us of maybe where we need to advertise different supports better or what they're utilizing and need more of.
Right, because I mean, you gave us the numbers of how many Lewis Central teachers participate and everything.
Yep.
And I was just wondering how that compared to other, if that's the average, you know, if that kind of goes to everyone else, or if, you know, we can encourage our teachers to take advantage of the services you provide.
And hopefully that's in my role. I'm new to the AEA. This is my first year working for them. But that's one of my roles too, is when I'm in meeting with building principals and building those relationships, that hopefully they become comfortable enough to maybe say, I'm struggling with this, or we're dealing with this. And then I can say, hey, this would be a great resource. We should funnel this in. Would you be interested in talking to this team? And so that's one of my roles too as well. When you look at who's using what services and to which amount, I think that might be kind of hard, because depending on what you need and how deep you're
Right.
using the services, if you're using not superficially, but maybe you come in and you're doing curriculum and then you feel great about it, where another school district might not be able to implement the curriculum very well and need help call back and go back in to help implement that and go farther. But the goal is always to support as much as you need. And part of the way to do that is to make sure you know the services that we have, because you can't use something you don't know you have and it's available to you. So hopefully doing a good job of getting that out there and making sure that folks are aware. So I also send out almost every Sunday, unless there's nothing new, to send out things that they should be looking for, information that's coming from the AEA, things that they might be interested in doing or participating in, just to kind of keep those things in the forefront. Since a lot of emails come and go through principals' boxes, I kind of try to go through those and highlight the things pertinent to each district.
So then you get the principals and the principals then get one out.
Yep. That's kind of the hope, is instead of people having to call and say, we need this, I'm going out and saying, how are things going? And then like, maybe they just tell me something and inadvertently I'm like, hey, I have a great idea, or I talked to a principal that's using this, or did you know we offer support in this? So the idea is really relationships and building those foundational trusts that folks feel open and confident to share their struggles, their challenges, their successes, so that we can push in and support whatever it is and meet people where they're at.
How long has that field director role been in place? Not that long, 4
No,
years?
4 years, yeah, so,
There's been a lot of positive
Yeah.
feedback
Yeah.
regarding that, because then it's not up to the principal to always reach out, but they're going there to reach out and have those conversations.
Like, I'll always say, if you need anything, call or text, but if I don't hear anything, I just drive and say hi and pop in.
Right.
And, you know, if they're busy, and maybe I stand and do lunch duty for a little while and we visit, or, you know, maybe I just check in with an email. To me, the biggest point is just knowing they have an advocate and somebody there to support them.
who's been in their shoes too.
Yeah.
as a
And I'm
principal.
freshly removed. I just finished, I just telling Stephanie, 17 years as building principal. So June 30th was my last day at building principal, so I'm still pretty fresh. So I feel like I can offer quite a bit of support.
It's like riding a bicycle. You don't forget, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much for coming,
for
and we
having us.
appreciate having this information, and if we can get that little video, that'd be
Yes.
great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone
well-
else? Commendation and good news?
Yep, I have a presentation. Let's see if you can't. I did send it to all of you, and so you can open it up on your own device. And we can just kind of click through it that way. So quite a lot of good things again. Just wanted to recognize, first off, the football team did go down to Cedar Falls. Oh, there it is. Cedar Falls last week, and they did come away as your state runner-up. Just an awesome game against Cedar Rapids Xavier. Great turnout. We had, a ton of fan support. A ton of people were there. It was really pretty impressive. I mean, considering, I'm not saying we're better, but considering, you know, the drive in comparison between Cedar Rapids and there and Council Bluffs and Cedar Falls, I would venture to say we probably had as much, if not, you know, more fan support there. So that was pretty amazing. So I really turned out, I must have missed the white memo. I should have worn white. I wore blue. So, but it was amazing. Our fans did a wonderful job. The kids played a great game. Kind of fell behind, fought back, and really were kind of an onside kick away from having a shot. So they finished the season officially 12-1. I'm calling it 13-1 because we did beat Underwood. That's counted as a scrimmage though because it was a extra game. So finished season 13-1. You know, those men have a lot to hold their head high about and
Absolutely.
be proud of, and you know they really represented us well. The coaches represented us well. Fans represented us well. It was really just kind of a really good, really fun event. So.
I was getting ready to text you because it was like 20 after 7 and the game hadn't even, I mean, I couldn't get online.
Oh, no.
It just kept saying that
Yeah.
it was coming or something like that. And it's just like, yeah, I thought it was supposed to start at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean,
And I thought at one time it was up there and then it was down again. And so I was getting kind of nervous I wouldn't be able to watch, but
well, I was ready for another triple overtime game. I was hoping we'd get that onside kick, and
yeah,
but alas, you know, the kids did a really nice job though.
absolutely.
They fought till the end too.
They did, absolutely. It was fun. You know, they have a lot of fight in them, that's for sure.
Yep.
We knew that after the Harlan game, but this was just a reminder. So,
Absolutely.
these young men will do really, really, really well in life, and good group of seniors, good group of kids coming back, so it'll be fun. The next one we have, so this is pretty exciting. So this was our Lewis Central Wrestling girls went to Ridgeview on Saturday, and they won the Ridgeview tournament. But it's exciting because it's the first wrestling team win in program history. You know, new program. So we're 1-0. If we ended right now, we have won every tournament we ever entered. So that was pretty awesome. 15-ish wrestlers out. So I'm really proud of them. They have about 30 junior high girls out. So really good numbers so far.
That's a huge team.
Okay, next. Our girls went to state swimming. We had 6 top 14 finishers. We placed 15th out of 32 teams. Kylie Brown, Sydney Collins, both placed in a couple of events. And then we had 2 relay teams that also placed. So really, really nice showing for those young ladies there. Just really another reason to be proud here at Lewis Central. So. All-state chorus, we had 5 individuals make it for the all-state chorus, and then we had 1 freshman make it to the Opus Choir. I think that's like freshman all-state, and so that's a picture of them up there. Chloe Nash was our freshman for the Opus Choir. Avery Heller, Brooklyn Damgard, Jill Poor, Kylie Moore, and Julian Jakubich. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his last name. I should have asked him when I saw him a couple weeks ago. But so no, they just had their all state chorus this weekend. So from what I hear, it was wonderful. So go to the next. All-state band, we had 3 participants there. Carly Molinex, Jake Koloff-Sadler, and then Zach Crone. So also reasons to be very proud here at Lewis Central. It's not just our sports, it's all of our activities we just excel at. So go to the next, please. I just want to put a big thank you out to the Lewis Central Education Foundation. Every year they raise money to support our students and staff. They also give out student scholarships for college, but each semester they award money in the form of mini grants to LC teachers. So this fall they awarded over $4,000 in mini grants to our teachers. This is a post that Mr. Gallen over there put up, and they've really, I want to say they've been pretty much the main financial supporter for Mr. Allen and or one of the main financial supporters for Mr. Allen and his students with their LCTV stuff. So, so this meeting is being brought to you by LCTV and the LC Education Foundation. So thank you, Education Foundation.
Absolutely.
Go to the next. We had a CREF literacy night last week, and I went down there. It was Tuesday night. Very, very well done. They had a book fair. I think it was our first book fair in 3 years, and so it was. That place was packed, and it was like my first time my kids had ever seen pencils and erasers, because they got their hands. They wouldn't, like, they were geniuses by putting all of that stuff right up next to the checkout counter. I get why people do that now, because we walked away with about 20 things we didn't need. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was craft literacy night. Boys cross country, I just want to point out Taylor May was named an at-large coach of the year. So obviously they named their coach of the year, and then they kind of have at-large coaches, so like those who also have excelled above and beyond. So Taylor May, congrats to you, sir. So we had Mr. Is it Yeaman? I think so. At least in my name, that sounds like an A. So,
Right.
So Mr. Yeaman, 8th grade science teacher, was a recipient of the 2022 Dr. Robert E. and Phyllis M. Yeager Exemplary Teaching Recognition Awards. So anytime our teachers get rewarded for their hard work, all of our teachers work very, very hard. It's nice once in a while to see some outside recognition for them. So. And then I wanted to point out, last time I came, we had just had day one of the iTech, where we were the featured school presenting, and we did have, that was Mr. Swenson, Mrs. Neitzer, and Mr. Driver and Mr. Neitzer were presenting on that first day. And then on the second day, so I kind of talked about them a little bit, but we also had these individuals presented the second day, so I just want to make sure I pointed them out. Mrs. Letner, Mrs. Smith, and then our very own Mr. Allen over there presented as well. So as you can see, we had a whole list of teachers that were kind of considered experts in the field presenting to other educators across the state. So do you want to, anything you want to say about that conference, or?
No, I think our teachers did a fabulous job of just sharing what they do in the classroom. And the whole reason we got chosen as a featured district wasn't because we have some fabulous, shiny things that we do, but we stick to integrating technology to make instruction better and teachers more efficient. So they were all nervous, and I just said, just talk about what you do in the classroom, because that's the only reason we're here. So they did great.
Awesome. Okay, I think
Is that
is that
it?
it?
That's it.
That's it?
That's a lot of good news.
Tons of good news.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
Just a big congrats, because that's a lot of awesome stuff happening for us.
Absolutely.
It is, yeah. Academically, activities,
Yep.
staff, students.
I love the wrestling one.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool that we have 30 girls wrestling.
Okay, we'll go on to the first portion of our agenda that we take comments and suggestions from anyone that is sitting in our audience or anyone online if they want to type something in to address the board.
Okay, nothing?
Okay, we're hearing nothing. We'll go on to consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Do we have an updated personnel sheet?
Yes, there is a new one, Josh. It's at the bottom, towards the bottom.
I've never seen item L before.
What was that?
Yes, item L is a new item. So per the agreements that we have for evaluations, any teacher that is new to our district has to be on a probationary contract for 2 years and do the full evaluation for 2 years. These two are educators that came to us with extensive background in education and had been teachers for a very long time. And so Dana Barker is requesting that they have their second year of their probationary status waived due to the fact that they have been teachers and have performed very well in their year with the
Right,
district.
and essentially what it means is they would be, as far as, this would waive really the the evaluated portion of it, because no matter what, as far as a contractual reason, like they have a 2-year probationary period here with our school district. However, according to our evaluation cycle, teachers who are on probation had to be fully evaluated every year. And so the question that came up is if we have a teacher or teachers with, let's say, 15 or 18 years of experience and they come into the district and they've been fully evaluated year one, do we have to do a full evaluation again on the following year? Or can we, say we're going to wait? And I said, you know what? I think there's a provision for us to allow the board to waive that second year probationary, that full evaluation piece. And so these are teachers with those, years of experience and who have already been fully evaluated once within our district to say, we don't need to do a full evaluation. We can put them on the 3-year cycle and they'll be evaluated again in 3 years. So it just is, it's a lot when you have a lot of teachers and a lot of evaluations to kind of look through and say, these are obviously very successful teachers. And so, and it would only be brought up when and if the principals have decided that, this is, these teachers have already shown through their first evaluation and the years of experience that they don't necessarily need, that second year of full evaluation. So a full evaluation is pretty extensive. It's several classroom visits, full classroom visits, a pretty lengthy write-up, sit-down meetings, et cetera. So, and they will do it. I said, well, throw it out there. So.
Is there any discussion?
Just to be clear on that though, is if you were a first-year teacher, we probably wouldn't do the waiver. Is that
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yep.
So these are teachers that have years of experience, just not in the LC district?
Yes.
And they're through their first year, starting their second year? Okay.
Correct,
Okay,
yep,
I'm with
yep.
you now.
So we've already done kind of what I would say our due diligence that first year.
Okay.
So, yep,
And a brand new teacher has a mentoring program, and if they're brand new in the state of Iowa, they have a longer probationary period than just a 2-year. They actually have a 3-year probationary
Yeah.
period.
My only ask would be is if we're gonna present that to us that way, because I don't know all the teachers, I apologize, but if they are, the assumption then for me going forward would be is that they have been a multi-year teacher, just not in the district, and they've already
Correct.
gone through their first year of review.
that would be correct, yep.
Okay.
Yep. That was my criteria as well.
Okay.
So,
Right.
That's fine.
And
Okay, I'm with you
these names would go through you before.
They
they
do,
would go.
yep. Mhm. And that was my criteria. They are considered an experienced teacher outside of the district, and they've already been through one full evaluation cycle within our district.
Okay.
Got it.
So,
Any other questions? Vote, please.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. Report 6.01, Superintendent Report.
just have a couple things, just some of the things to keep on your radar. Show choir kicked off last night, that apparent night. I just want to give kudos to those, fellows as well, and those students, because I guess that was the earliest that they've ever given a full production. So that means that they've been doing a lot of hard work, and kids are responding really well. Dance team is tonight. They're having a thing at 7:30 down at the high school. So when we're done here, if anybody wants to go down there, watch the dance team. Facility assessment update. So I met with Shive Hattery last week. We're just in the process of getting them plans. So once they have all of the plans, we have to get a lot of them digitized. So we have to take them over to get them scanned, and then we send them to them. Once they're in their hands, then we're gonna set dates probably tomorrow for them to come in and do their assessment piece. So we just wanted to make sure that we knew that they would have the plans in place before we set that date. So, and then it'll be, just time after that. So hopefully the end goal is still by the end of December that we kind of have the visits done, the plans reviewed, and that we can start talking results in January then. So that's still on the timeline. I'm still talking with, gathering as much information as I can regarding all the different aspects of our current facilities, as well as any future possibilities that are out there, everything from land acquisition to potential buildings and everything else. I'm just as a part of this assessment, I think it's fair for us to get as much information as humanly possible, so that way you and the community can make an educated decision on the future of our facilities. So, snow dates. So one of the things we started planning today, because it looks like we might get a little snow next year or next week. In talking with some staff members, it sounds like we maybe did a 2-hour late start last year. We hadn't done any prior to that. I'm a fan of 2-hour late starts because there's a lot of times where in the morning when it's dark, it's either too icy or they just haven't gotten out and cleared off the roads well enough yet. But a couple hours later, if it clears up, that really allows us to still get students in. It's a couple hours late, still get them fed. That's a big thing for me. Get them fed, have them get 4 or 5 hours of education, make sure our teachers, can get a contract A in, and then we can, and still make it as productive as possible. So I will be sending out a survey to parents, just to get their input on it. Even though I think it's a beneficial thing, I want to know from a parent's perspective, is it easier? Because I know that with Council Bluffs' calendar with, or transportation schedule with, any of the metro areas, Millard, OPS, et cetera, they don't have late starts because they just logistically can't do it. And so we're not that big. We could do it. It's just whether or not, our staff and our parents want to be able to do it. And the benefit is it's one less day we have to make up at the end of the year, And if you're a parent and you're a working parent and you rely on students getting to school, that might still allow you to get to school and get to work and at least get some hours in. So I just want to send it out there and I'll let them kind of make the decision on that. So I'm a year-round employee, so it doesn't matter to me either. So if we're going to school in July, we're going to school in July. So
And that's good to ask the parents, because I know before in the district, it's like, would rather cancel the school, because if you say 2 hours late, then you have to cancel.
Yep.
Then parents are kind of stuck with trying, at least they know ahead as early as possible that it's all day they need to have care for their children, or if it's the 2
Yep.
hours.
And there's usually, if I usually call a 2-hour, it's because I'm pretty confident that we're going to be, very confident we're going to be able to get them there. I have had in 5 years, 2 or 3 occasions where I was very confident, and then Mother Nature kind of looked at me and was like, nah, not going to happen. Not today, sir. And then doubled back around, and I did have to end up canceling school. It's not a fun thing. I don't like to do that. But my goal is always to try to get kids into school safely. That's, if we can get them here and get them here safe, those are the 2 things I worry about. So,
Yeah, and we have Hills that
Yep.
really put that also into perspective too, so.
So that'll be going out, probably tomorrow actually, but other than that, not a lot of other things. Does anybody have any questions or for me?
Well, we went to the Iowa State
Oh,
School
we
Board
did, yeah.
Association, the conference, which I did go to, as everyone there went to the sessions, and I think we got quite a bit out. I did go to a session about evaluating the superintendent.
Oh, good.
So I think we'll have some things to do. They have a new evaluation form that came out last year, but we didn't use since Dr. Knos was leaving. And so we'll need to get on that and work with you. And but hearing other school districts, how they talk, and because we got into like mini groups and how they talked about, I think, the way Lewis Central has done with the evaluations with our superintendents, I think we're on the right track, so I think we're doing good.
And we'll do, part of that is they like to do a mid-year review. So
Yes.
right now I'm kind of targeting that 2nd December date for a mid-year review. So
Okay.
just to kind of give you guys a heads up on my evaluation, so.
Sounds fine.
and
Anyone
that's-
else have anything to say about sessions they went to?
I always enjoy going to that. I think it re-energizes you. I thought the keynote speakers were fantastic
Yes.
this year, all 3 of
Yes.
them. Yeah, I think it's a nice event to refocus you on the mission of school boards.
Right.
And I did have a conversation with Dr. Murillo from Council Bluffs about potentially teaming up and bringing in that first initial speaker that we saw, kind of the keynote in the morning. So there's could be some possibility for that in the future to bring in a keynote, kind of get our, combined resources in order to do that. So alone, we probably would never be able to afford to bring in a speaker of that quality, but together, even working with the AEIA, I think that's definitely a possibility. So
Absolutely.
it's hard sometimes. We have a lot of resources in place to be able to send our staff a lot of places. Our teacher quality dollars provide the opportunity for staff to attend professional development nationwide, but that's still a pretty limited opportunity, just because of the dollars and the amount of staff that we have. So if we can bring somebody like that nationally here, that allows for more people to get involved.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. We'll go on to discussion items. 7.01, request for SBRC modified supplement amount for increased enrollment.
So I'll let Mrs. Reyes talk about these SBRC applications.
Yes, so 7.01, 2, and 3 are all along the same lines. We do have to have 3 separate action items for them, so that's why they're listed separately. But all 3 of them are a request to the SBRC for modified supplemental amounts. And the first one is for increasing enrollment, and that one is for $211,270.50. And that is for for an increase to our certified enrollment that was not on the prior year. Then we have the open enrollment out, not on the prior year's head count, and that one is for $271,012.50. And that's for specifically to our open enrolled students that were not on our prior year count. And then the third one is for the limited English proficient instruction beyond 5 years. So we are able to request MSA for $31,505.25 for our students who exceed the 5 years of the weighting that we receive for that. So there'll be 3 separate action items. 3. And this is all just for MSA, so it is authority only and not cash, but we have the cash to back the authority. Are there any questions on this?
It's always good to do.
Yes. We'll take any authority we can get.
Any questions? And when does this need to go in for?
So we will submit it, and it will actually go to the SBRC on December 13th
Okay.
to that meeting for authority.
Okay. Everyone good? No
Yep.
questions? All right, so that knocks out 701, 702, and 703. So we are at 7.04 SBRC hearing exhibits.
So with this, the district is being requested to go in front of the SBRC for our categorical balances for FY21 and 22 being greater than our district's regular program balance in each year. This is the same thing that we went in front of the SBRC for last year, and it is just to give a fiscal update. So we will take these exhibits that I sent to you to the SBRC. They are very similar to last year's exhibits. We just made a few changes, obviously dependent upon where we ended at last year with our budget numbers compared to this year. Some of the things that we changed kind of for our plans going forward with special ed, the increasing of the para rates, things of that nature have all been included in the update. The biggest difference I will say is that in 2021 we had our first increase in our balance in a significant number of years, and in FY '22, we finished up as well. So we have had 2 years going in the right direction, and at the end of fiscal 2023, we are hopeful that we will no longer be required to give a fiscal update, as our program balance will be above our categorical balances.
Okay. Are there any questions? All right, we'll go to 7.05, consideration of truck purchase.
So we did find a pickup truck, so we were kind of scrambling, because we only have 3 pickup trucks right now to move snow, one of which we'd like to stay at Krebs, so it only gives us 2 trucks to push snow, along with our Ventrac, along with our, other truck vehicles, and we have a lot of parking lots, and so when it got a little icy last week, that was the first time that we were like, oh my goodness, we better get on this. So we did find a truck today. We think it actually fits our needs even better than the ones we were looking at prior to this. And really what we're looking for is something that just is available for us to push snow, and drive around campus and et cetera. So it's a 2008 Chevy Silverado, 2,500, 3/4 ton. Bought right here, Steffi's Motor here in town. Only has 77,000 miles on it. It's a 6.6 turbo diesel engine, 4-wheel drive. So really, we're tickled pink to find it here in Council Bluffs. So all the other trucks we're looking at would have been nice trucks for us to buy. We just knew that we didn't know how we felt about putting with the limited number of trucks that are out there right now with lower mileage. We didn't know how we liked putting a salt spreader in the back of a $50,000+ vehicle. So this is a great truck for us to put a salt spreader in, plow on the front, and, not have to cringe, so.
Yeah. Any questions? So how soon will you get this up and running for snow?
He'll get it tomorrow, and we'll get it into the shop tomorrow to be able to put the plow on, and they're gonna order the salt spreader, because it's the salt spreader we have right now is more for a long box. This is a short box, so.
Okay.
Which is, we'd like to have another salt spreader anyway, so not a huge deal, so. This should be outfitted with a plow, hopefully by the end of the week, and then, next week we'll get a spreader put on it, so.
Okay. Any
They're hard to
questions?
find.
Yeah, I
So,
know. I told my
especially
husband
used
to
ones.
start looking. He goes, okay, get me the
It-
information, and,
Even new ones because the new ones we found, those are, 5 to 8 weeks out, like, it's just crazy. So
Right.
you just, I
Right.
said, that'd be
Some
great.
dealers are actually putting a premium on the sticker.
Yeah, oh, I saw that,
Yeah, $500.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the used ones are worth more than the new ones right now because of supply and demand, so. This was kind of the best case scenario, because I really didn't want to, like I said, put a salt spreader in the back of a $50,000 vehicle, so this works out perfect.
so this might already have a little scratch, so it's not
Yeah,
as.
yeah. And it's white.
I know,
I
I
love
know,
white
it's
vehicles.
It's
so.
perfect, so, all right. Any discussion? Okay. We'll go to comments and suggestions. This is the second time during our board meeting that anyone in the audience or anyone online can type something in to address the board. Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to our action items. 9.01, request for SBRC modified supplemental amount for increased enrollment.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to request from the SBRC for an increased enrollment supplement of $211,270.50 due to increased certified enrollment from the prior year.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wylage?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Shuffle?
Yes. 9.02, request for SBRC modified supplemental amount for open enrollment out, not on prior year's head count.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to request from the SBRC for an open enrollment out, not on prior year's head count, for the amount of $271,012.50 for an open enrolled out students who are not included in the district's previous year's certified enrollment count.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wylage?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Shuffle?
Yes. 9.03, request for SBRC modified supplemental amount for limited English proficient LEP instruction beyond 5 years.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to request a SBRC application increase for limited English proficient instruction beyond 5 years for the amount of $31,505.25 related to the English language learning program for students who have exceeded 5 years of waiting that are not included in the fall 2020 and certified enrollment head count.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Wylage?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mrs. Shuffle?
Yes. 9.04, SBRC hearing exhibits.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to approve each exhibit for the required appearance at the SBRC hearing appearance on December 13, 2022 as presented.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wylage?
Yes.
Mrs. Shuffle?
Yes. 9.05, consideration of pickup purchase.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a 2008 Chevy Silverado 2500 for $21,900 from Steffi's Motors.
Clarification, does that include all fees?
It does.
Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wylage?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Shuffle?
Yes. Items of interest, future board meetings. Our next regular board meeting will be December 5th, 2022 at 6:30. Anything else we need to
Nope.
say? All right. Then with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? You can stay.